It was a dark and stormy night when Officer Mark Thompson received a chilling call that would forever haunt his dreams. Dispatch informed him of a brutal murder at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. With adrenaline pumping through his veins, Mark raced to the scene, unaware of the horrors that awaited him. Upon arrival, Mark and his fellow officers discovered a gruesome crime scene. The victim, a young woman, had been brutally mutilated, her life extinguished in a manner that sent shivers down their spines. The warehouse was filled with an eerie silence, broken only by the sound of their own pounding hearts. As Mark delved into the investigation, he realized that this was no ordinary murder. Clues were scarce, and the few leads he had seemed to lead him nowhere. The killer had left no trace behind, as if they were a phantom, taunting the police with their elusiveness. As the investigation progressed, Mark's attention turned to a person of interest, a mysterious figure with a dark past. This suspect, known for their violent tendencies, seemed to have an uncanny knowledge of the crime scene. Mark couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, their every move monitored by unseen eyes. With each passing day, Mark and his team uncovered more victims, each murder more gruesome than the last. The killers seemed to revel in their sadistic acts, leaving behind a trail of nightmares that haunted the community. The once peaceful town was now gripped with fear, its residents living in constant dread. During an intense interrogation session, Mark found himself face to face with the suspect. The room was filled with an oppressive aura, as if the very walls held the weight of the crimes committed. The suspect's chilling gaze sent shivers down Mark's spine, and he couldn't help but wonder if evil truly walked among them. As Mark dug deeper, he unraveled a web of corruption and deceit that extended far beyond his initial suspicions. Powerful individuals seemed to be involved, pulling the strings from the shadows. Mark realized that he was not only fighting a deranged killer, but also battling against a network of darkness that had infiltrated the heart of law enforcement itself. With the help of a determined journalist, Mark uncovered a series of dark secrets that painted a chilling picture of the crimes. The victims were connected by a shared past, a secret they had buried deep within their hearts. As the truth emerged, Mark realized that the killer's motive was more twisted than he could have ever imagined. Armed with the knowledge of the killer's identity, Mark embarked on a relentless pursuit. The chase took him through dimly lit alleyways, abandoned buildings, and into the heart of the city's underbelly. The killer seemed to always be one step ahead, taunting Mark with their ability to blend seamlessly into the shadows. In a twisted turn of events, the killer began to play a dangerous game with Mark. They left cryptic messages and clues, leading him on a macabre scavenger hunt. Mark's determination grew, fueled by a mix of anger, fear, and a burning desire to bring justice to the victims. As Mark unraveled the killer's motive, he discovered a dark obsession rooted in revenge and a desire for power. The victims were chosen specifically, their deaths a macabre message to those who had wronged the killer in the past. Mark realized that he had become entangled in a web of twisted justice, where the lines between good and evil blurred. The killer's actions grew more brazen, pushing Mark to his limits. With each passing day, the body count rose, and the community's fear intensified. Mark knew that he had to stop the killer before they struck again. Time was running out, and the pressure weighed heavily on his shoulders. In a heart-stopping confrontation, Mark finally cornered the killer in a desolate location. The air crackled with tension as they faced off, two forces of darkness locked in a deadly dance. The outcome of this encounter would determine the fate of not only Mark but also the countless lives affected by the killer's reign of terror. As the final pieces of the puzzle fell into place, Mark uncovered the shocking truth behind the killer's twisted actions. The revelations left him reeling, questioning the very foundations of justice and morality. The lines between right and wrong blurred, and Mark found himself grappling with the weight of his own decisions. With the case closed, Mark returned to his life as a police officer, forever changed by the horrors he had witnessed. The memories of the investigation haunted his dreams, leaving him with lingering fears that refused to dissipate. Though the killer was behind bars, Mark couldn't shake the feeling that darkness still lurked, waiting for its next opportunity to strike.
Welcome to your nightmare.
Detective Sarah Collins arrived at the crime scene with a sinking feeling in her gut. The room was bathed in a sickly glow, casting eerie shadows on the walls. The victim lay in a pool of blood, their body contorted in a grotesque display of violence. It was a scene that would haunt Sarah's nightmares for years to come. As Sarah dug deeper into the investigation, she discovered a series of cryptic messages left by the perpetrator. Each clue led her down a dark and twisted path, testing her resolve and sanity. The puzzle seemed to have no solution, the answers shrouded in darkness, just out of her reach. Driven by a relentless pursuit of justice, Sarah delved into the mind of the killer. She studied their patterns, their motives, and their twisted reasoning. The deeper she went, the more she realized that she was staring into an abyss of madness, where rationality gave way to chaos and depravity. As Sarah connected the dots, she uncovered a sinister connection between the victims. They were all linked to a secret society that reveled in darkness and worshipped the macabre. The realization sent shivers down her spine, knowing that she was up against a force more sinister than she could have ever imagined. The killer, known only as the Puppet Master, reveled in playing a devilish game with the police. Each murder was meticulously planned, designed to push Sarah and her team to their limits. The Puppet Master seemed to always be one step ahead, toying with their prey, reveling in the fear and chaos they created. As Sarah delved deeper into the investigation, she realized that the web of deception stretched far beyond the Puppet Master's crimes. Corrupt officials, hidden agendas, and a dark underbelly of society emerged, threatening to consume her in its darkness. She struggled to distinguish friend from foe, not knowing who she could trust. A suspect emerged from the shadows, a figure with a haunting presence. Their cold, calculating gaze sent a chill down Sarah's spine. Was this the Puppet Master, or merely another pawn in their twisted game? Sarah had to tread carefully, for the truth was often more horrifying than fiction. Sarah's investigation led her to uncover a series of dark rituals performed by the secret society. The rituals were steeped in ancient occult practices, harnessing the power of darkness to achieve their twisted goals. The lines between reality and the supernatural blurred as Sarah faced horrors she never thought possible. Time was running out as Sarah raced against the clock to stop the Puppet Master's reign of terror. With each passing day, the body count rose, and the city descended further into fear and chaos. Sarah knew that she had to find the Puppet Master before they struck again, before the darkness consumed everything. Sarah's investigation took an unexpected turn when she uncovered a sinister alliance between the Puppet Master and a powerful figure in the city. The lines between good and evil became blurred as she realized that the forces she was up against were more formidable than she had ever anticipated. She had to fight not only for justice, but for her own survival. In her darkest moments, Sarah found herself questioning her own sanity. The horrors she had witnessed and the relentless pursuit of the Puppet Master took its toll on her psyche. She had to confront her own demons if she wanted to emerge from the depths of despair and bring an end to the nightmare. The stage was set for the final confrontation between Sarah and the Puppet Master. It was a battle of wills, a clash between darkness and light. In a heart-stopping showdown, the truth would be unveiled, and the fate of Sarah and the city would hang in the balance. As the investigation reached its climax, Sarah was burdened with the weight of the truth. The revelations she uncovered were more shocking than she could have ever imagined. The Puppet Master's motives, the extent of the sinister alliance, and the true nature of the secret society were all laid bare before her. But with truth comes a heavy price, and Sarah had to decide if she was willing to bear it. Even as the case was closed and the puppet master apprehended, Sarah couldn't escape the echoes of horror that reverberated in her mind. The nightmares continued to haunt her, the gruesome images imprinted on her memory. She struggled to find solace, knowing that the darkness she had faced would forever leave its mark. Though the case was solved, Sarah couldn't shake off the lingering darkness that clung to her. The experience had changed her, leaving her with a newfound understanding of the depths of human depravity. As she moved forward, she vowed to protect others from the horrors she had witnessed, to be a beacon of light in a world plagued by shadows.